Today, we do the player spotlight for the New York Jets versus Baltimore Ravens. Hey, what's going on? I'm Matt O'Leary back with another video, and today we will be doing a player spotlight for the New York Jets versus Baltimore Ravens. Before we get started today, you guys know the drill. You can follow on social media at Matt O'Leary NY. If you haven't already, please make sure to check out the Just Jets podcast. Episodes are dropping on Wednesdays now. We got midweek shows coming up throughout the rest of the season. And if you are going to the game tomorrow, make sure to look for me. I will be there in the parking lot with the Jet Lounge beforehand, and I will also be sitting in the hangar with the Jet Lounge during the game. So make sure if you're going, stop by, say hello, and we'll talk. So with sports gambling becoming a little bit more prevalent now, what I wanted to do was go through different player props and do player profiles and talk about if people can hit their mark. And we'll go through, and obviously, I'm working with BUSR during the NFL season, so make sure to sign up, busr.com/Matt, and you could get in on these bets we're going through. It's going to be a casual Saturday thing. We'll go through. We'll talk about who I like. We'll talk about what some of these player prop lines are and what kind of performances we could expect, too, in these circumstances. So let's do this. Hang on. Let's do this and bring it up right now and do all the different kinds of props that BUSR offers, and then two, to just talk about, player performances. We'll start our way up at the top, work our way down. The quarterbacks obviously are going to take center stage here. And you have Lamar Jackson. His line is set at 19.5, where Joe Flacco's is set at 21.5. I kind of like, I don't know if I'm going to put a play in on it, but I do kind of like the value, I think, on under here. I don't know if he's going to be in the 20s in completions. I think the Jets are going to really try to run the ball a lot. The under might be the play on Lamar too, because I don't think they're going to try. I think both teams try to run the ball a lot this week. So completions, that's not necessarily a market that I would look at, but just where their line's set 19.5 and 21.5. Passing touchdowns, let's see. Joe Flacco, if you like him to throw multiple touchdowns in this game, you get that at plus money, plus 141. Lamar, they think he's going to be on the over too, I guess, at minus 121, but minus 108. So if you think he's throwing 0 or 1, you get at 108 to win 100 kind of thing there. Don't really love any of these markets. Potentially the Flacco 2 touchdown one at plus money, but definitely not worth value-wise at minus 186. And I don't really love any of the values here on Lamar. I think if I'm touching anything with Lamar, I'm waiting to go rushing and receiving yards. So let's do receiving yards next. Okay, they have some Corey Davis stuff. That's not someone that I'd really want to touch. Elijah Moore, over 55.5. Okay. If you think CJ Uzomah is going to get over 20 receiving yards, you can get that at plus money. That's interesting. Michael Carter's line's at 15.5. I think he probably comes in over on that. I would think that they're going to use both backs in the receiving game this week. Mark Andrews over 67.5. He probably clears that over. I want to look at Mark Andrews anytime touchdown score stuff. So we're going to look at that in a little bit here. Rushing yards. Here we go. Yeah, Lamar over 59.5. I think he hits that. These are both pretty low for Breece Hall and Michael Carter. So if you're interested in laying the minus 114 on either of those guys or any of these guys, you absolutely can. I think, honestly, there's a chance both of these guys clear that number. I think the Jets try to run the ball a lot. I don't know if they clear it by much, but I think, like 60 rushing yards for Breece Hall and 40 for Carter. That'll get you home. Player performance doubles. Let's look at this. Okay, here we go. Now, these are some interesting props. So if you want to get in on like a different, this is a parlay stuff. So both of these have to hit. So Breece Hall, 70 plus rushing yards and Jets to win is plus 575. I don't know if I would touch any of these ones. But if you like Elijah Moore. Okay. How about Elijah Moore, a touchdown and Jets win, 750? So if you want to get nuts, obviously this is the this is the spot to do it. Joe Flacco, let's see, 250 plus passing yards and the Jets win is 525. Lamar Jackson. Do they have any Lamar Jackson rushing? Oh, here we go. Or Mark Andrews, one touchdown and Baltimore win at plus money, plus 117. So that's a way where if you don't want to touch the point spread and instead just want to try to find a way to get Baltimore money line plus something else, that's interesting. More stuff on Michael Carter, Rashad Bateman. These are interesting markets. I don't know if I would touch any of these ones. I think I'm most interested, hate to say it, in the Mark Andrews touchdown and Ravens win outright. Pass completions. We did pass completions. Let's do passing yards. So at 231 is minus 114, but you could bump this up and get different odds. So if you think he's going to throw for like over 251, get that at plus money there. Maybe you're saying, okay, Joe Flacco and the Jets are behind. They have to throw to get back into the game, kind of a thing. Lamar, if you want to go like, I don't think I would touch any of these for Lamar. I don't trust his passing numbers, but if we get a rushing yards at least, maybe let's do that. Yeah, Lamar Jackson, here we go. If you think he has a big day, like if you think he's getting over 100 yards or even 90 at plus 167, that might be the way to go there to find some value. And Brees Hall, yeah, here we go. If you think he's getting like over 64 yards, you can get that at plus 148. I think that's where I would go on the rushing yards for both. I don't think I would bet either of them at their original price. So here at 60 for minus 114 and Brees 34 for minus 114. I think this is something that you only put a play in on if you're doing an alternate line here. So like at least 80 yards, at least 90, at least 100, somewhere in this range. So you get it to plus money, I think is the way that I would go about doing it. Okay, and then let's look at the last thing we'll do is anytime touchdown scorer. So who do you think gets in the end zone? Maybe not. We might go in a little bit deeper actually. Brees Hall is plus 240 to get in the end zone. Mark Andrews doesn't give you great odds at plus 110 to score, but I think he does get in the end zone. The Jets have kind of always struggled against tight ends. It's just been an issue of theirs for a very, very long time. Lamar Jackson to score a rushing touchdown is plus 120. I like CJ Uzama's plus 500. My goodness. Elijah Moore at 229 is interesting. I think the two on the Jet side of things, or maybe you're a Tyler Conklin guy. Like if you're a believer in Conklin, then maybe get on this at 450. I think my favorite ones that are being offered are Brees and Elijah, 240 and 229. Mark Andrews, obviously a plus 110 isn't great, but to score 2 touchdowns is plus 550. Let's take an eye on this head-to-head stuff. So this is more than kind of stuff. Who will have most passing yards? Joe Flacco, Lamar Jackson. Some of these odds are a little lopsided. Let's see if there's anyone that sticks out. If you think Corey Davis is going to have more receiving yards than Rashad Bateman, plus 120 instead of minus 182, that's kind of interesting. I think there's a chance that he could do that. If you think Joe Flacco is going to throw for more touchdowns than Lamar Jackson, that's an interesting one. Yeah, there's really not any other ones that stick out that I would think would be good value here. So yeah, I think that's going to do it. That's the player profile. So we'll kind of just go through each week and look at the different props that are being offered. I mean, prop bets are really fun. And, I think it's just an opportunity for us to go through and talk about different players. I think the players to watch for in this New York Jets game for the Jets is obviously Flacco. People are going to keep a close eye on Brees Hall as a rookie and Elijah Moore. Those three guys are the ones that I have the eye on. And on the Ravens side of things, on the prop side, look, I think it's Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. I know it sounds like broken record because those are the better players on each one of those teams, but I think those are the two guys on the Ravens you're most concerned with. Don't really see any props for the Ravens running backs because there's a big question mark with J.K. Dobbins. it's going to come down to Lamar and Mark Andrews. So if the Jets stop them, they'll be in pretty good shape. But let me know what you think of this kind of segment. I'm going to kind of do it as going through and talking about, different kinds of players. Were there any bets that stood out to you? Are there player performances that you think are going to be impactful this week? Maybe someone that I missed. Maybe you're a Tyler Conklin guy. Drop them down in the comments, your predictions and player predictions for the game. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Matt O'Leary, and I'll catch you next time.